Hare Krishna. Welcome you all for our e-Gurukula sessions, and today is Friday. We have Śrīla Prabhupāda-līlāmṛta studies. So, Śrīla Prabhupada has given his life, practically sacrificed for the sake of entire humanity. Śrīla Prabhupada would have been happily living in India, especially in Vrindavan. Nobody wants to leave Vrindavan. But he risked his life, and that's to spread the message of Krishna consciousness. So selflessness, sacrificing nature, being compassionate for others, these are the great qualities which really attracts Lord Krishna. And the goal of our life is what? To get attraction of Lord Krishna, to get mercy, the glance of Lord Krishna upon our life also. If that glance comes, if Krishna takes a recognition, oh, here is a devotee, so wonderfully he is doing. Finish. Our life is successful. It's like what, let's say, in a school, principal is calling. Okay, so devotee, let's say they take the name, Jashit Prabhu or Divesh Prabhu or Athara Prabhu. So please come, we have heard about you, so wonderful. So we want to award you. Right? Or maybe let's say, a Prime Minister of India recognizes, now we are doing a value education contest. Some of you also had taken a part already. So we announced them about one girl named Marianne Siddiqui. She was a topper in Mumbai district and she was honored by Prime Minister. Modi personally gifted her and the President also that time gifted her. So immediately children's eyes become big open. Modi awarded her. So great. Right. So why? Because that recognition has come, that they have recognized about the great value the child has done. So same way, if Krishna recognizes us, our life will be perfected, our life will be success. And so what it takes for Krishna to recognize us, that's what we have to understand. And Śrīla Prabhupada, the pure devotees of the Lord, right? So they demonstrate their life, how they have led their life, by which Krishna became so attracted towards them. Krishna became so much kind towards them. So we also learn and take inspiration from their life and take our baby steps also. Our life also will be successful. Krishna will recognize us also. So that's the goal of this Śrīla Prabhupāda-līlāmṛta study, so that we can zoom in into the life of Śrīla Prabhupada and try to learn and imbibe some great qualities what Śrīla Prabhupada demonstrated. So let us begin our today's reading with the prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayham Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunathan Nutam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Shakhandatamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesh-tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaurabhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Are you all able to see the screen? The Vedabase screen, is it visible? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Oh, so fine. So reading from the book Śrīla Prabhupāda-līlāmṛta by His Holiness Satsvarup Das Goswami Maharaj. So this we're continuing the volume 1, A Lifetime in Preparation in India 1896 to 1965, and chapter 7, Jhansi, the League of Devotees. So we're not sure exactly at what point we stopped, but still we'll just give a brief review and then we'll continue again. Okay. So every chapter in the beginning, the theme of that chapter is being mentioned. Okay, like here you see this chapter 7. Actually, before describing, starting this chapter, they have written this something in the quote in quote with the italic letter type. So that gives some kind of a review, overview the chapter. So we're reading now, okay, quote in quote. Wanted candidates from any nationality to qualify themselves as real Brahmins for preaching the teachings of Bhagavad Gita for all practical purposes throughout the whole world. Deserving candidates will be provided with free boarding and lodging. Apply. A.C. Bhaktivedanta, founder and secretary of the League of Devotees, Bharati Bhavan, Post Office, Jhansi, UP. So, and this is by whom? Abhay Charande. So, anyone get some idea where generally this kind of things we read? Wanted, deserving candidates will be provided, apply. Where we read these kind of things? Yeah.
Newspaper advertisement.
The paper advertisement, newspaper. Somewhere in the companies, the requirements are there. So they write wanted, a candidate. So Śrīla Prabhupada has written up to such level. Can you imagine the open invitation, right? Even it is said Śrīla Prabhupada used to go to the houses and I used to ask, can you give your one son, right? So that I will make him a Brahmin and he will become a great preacher of Bhagavad Gita. But unfortunately, no Indian supported. 1921, Prabhupada started till 1965. So before going to America, or 1966, before establishing ISKCON, nothing, not a single Indians came forward. So all this volume 1 especially is a great inspiration for us to see how Śrīla Prabhupada continued his struggles in midst of all these so many struggles. Okay, so let us see. Very, very interesting. It was another 12-hour ride with dozens of stops. The trains rattling and clattering and its rocking from side to side made writing difficult. But Abhay, crowded on the wooden bench with other third-class passengers, kept writing. So just imagine what kind of Indian railways were there that time. But Prabhupada was not affected by any external surroundings. He continued. This is another interesting quality, okay? So the responsible people, they don't blame the surroundings. Oh, I'm not getting a AC ticket, or I'm not getting a flight ticket, I'm not getting a good seat. I think better I will not do that. No, whatever circumstances are, they will try to offer the best of their service, what is given to them. So there is nothing to blame the circumstances around. Rather, we have to see how best we can utilize the things. Okay. This is very important. Sometimes we say, okay, I'm not getting this cycle, I'm not getting that pain, I'm not getting this sabji or rice or whatever. Then only, oh, if I would have got, then I would have got something. That boy got so many things, that's why he is so. I am not because I did not get it. No. This is not the right way to say. Rather, we have to say, what I got, did I utilize my 100% best? Then Krishna will award more and more and more. You see how Srila Prabhupada is utilizing everything, right? Srila Prabhupada never complained or never raised any issue because of not getting the things. Whatever it was coming, Srila Prabhupada was 100% utilizing. Seeing Srila Prabhupada's such amazing spirit, Krishna awarded him more and more. That's what we see, what the Srila Prabhupada's life will unfold in upcoming years. But if you don't utilize the things properly, what is given to us, then no matter how much ever we try, things will not come in a right way. So one of our sannyasi, spiritual master, he was telling. So in our Pune city, they were trying to make a temple. They were looking for a land and many other things, because existing temple was very small because number of devotees were increasing. So that Swami said, see, if all of you utilize every inch, every corner of a temple, 100%, Krishna will give you more space. So temple has, let's say, area, let's say 1 acre area or whatever area it is. So if you utilize everything, every corner of the temple very perfectly, not wasting anywhere just like that and all, Krishna will supply you more place. And that's what it happened. In a matter of few months from that, huge temple land was offered. And that too by one of the Muslim person. That land was owned by one of the Muslim person. And very, very cheap rate, he just gave it off as if like it is a free value only. So this is how, this is a formula of how Krishna awards us. He sees us, what things we have got, how best we are utilizing. Then he will award more and more and more. And at the broader perspective, the human form of life is a gift of Krishna. Krishna sees how we are utilizing our human form. Are we responsible? Are we becoming Krishna conscious? Are we honest and truthful and cultivating a good Krishna conscious qualities? Then he will take us the better things, giving us, taking back home, back to God. That's the highest thing he will award. But if you not utilize human form of life properly, then that gift Krishna will take away. Right? And then we have to get into the lower life forms. So are you all understanding? Hare Krishna. Jasit Prabhu, Divyesh Prabhu, Anish Kumar Prabhu. Anish Kumar Prabhu is not there. Yeah. Are you all understanding? Athar Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So we just read one line, but you see how much it is a great points are there in one line also. Let's see now. Abhay kept writing in spite of all. Within the dingy compartment, passengers eyed one another complacently, and soot and dust blew in the open windows as the train sped along. People were looking each other and all struggling to get the place, and so much dirt it was. Outside, past the monotonous embankment of the loose stones, bright violet trumpet flowers bloomed on tall stalks in the shallow trackside ditches. Water buffalo and oxen grazed in the distance, or sometimes pulled a plow before a solitary farmer. So this is a description, okay, just to give us the scene how the journey was going on. Abhay was going to Jhansi, not for a business, but for preaching. 1 month before, in October of 1952, when Abhay had visited Jhansi on business, Mr. Dubey, a customer and the owner of a Jhansi hospital, had invited him to lecture at the Gita Mandir. Many Jhansi people appreciated things religious or humanitarian, whether from Vaishnava theosophists, Mayavadis, politicians, or whatever. They regarded almost any path as dharma, quote unquote, as long as it showed some edifying piety or tended toward the public welfare. So you're getting, na? Was it really a pure devotion? What they were appreciating of Krishna consciousness at this program? You all are understanding this, right? Yeah, it was not actually, right? Whomever says about God and all, they used to think, oh, great, okay, something good we are doing, that's all. So that is being nature that was happening there. Mr. Dubey had read with interest several issues of Back to Godhead and had therefore requested Abhay to speak. So I hope all of you know the Back to Godhead magazine. So it's very amazing book. If a magazine, monthly magazine, it comes. If you're not aware, please do aware about that, and you can issue also. You can subscribe that. Monthly, I think hardly yearly. I think only 300 rupees or so. And with the free postal, if you want a postal service, then it adds up to 200 or so additional rupees. It will come at our doors. Such amazing articles, such amazing present. Now they have made more colorful also. How many of you have seen? How many of you read regularly? Yeah. Back to God, it started. Now also it is running. Right? It started, Prabhupada started right way back in 1950 or so, that time. Now also it is running. Okay. Every month there is a publication. Okay. And all languages, Hindi, English, we were in Maharashtra, so Marathi, now here Telugu is there. And mostly Tamil and things also will be coming down. So many languages are available. It's very amazing. Very thoughtful articles, provoking, and very short, easy to read quickly. So monthly it comes issue. Okay. So that was Mr. Dubey had read, it has been explained. Prabhupada himself used to write personally, back to Godhead, and then there is a caption for that. Where Godhead is light and darkness is science, where there is Godhead, there is no darkness. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Hoy Andakar, Jaha Krishna Tahanai, Maya Radhikar. So its translation is made into that, and that is kept as a caption, back to Godhead. So it's very amazing. Okay. So Abhay had been eager, and he had found a keen interest among the audience of more than 100 people, many of them young medical students and graduates from the local Ayurvedic college. Okay, so the audience who were there. Abhay was 56, and his commanding presentation of Krishna consciousness had impressed the young, religious-minded people of Jhansi. So this was in 1952. Prabhupada appeared in 1896. That's what the Srila Prabhupada's age is, 56. 25-year-old Prabhakar Mishra, principal of the Vedanta Sanskrit College and head medical officer of Jhansi Ayurvedic University, saw that Abhay was very forceful. Just a minute, it got scrolled up. How to move this side? Yeah. So this Prabhakar Mishra, he saw that Abhay was very forceful in his desire to spread Krishna consciousness. Dr. Mishra regarded him as a kind of a guru, although dressed in white. Here is a humble person, he thought, a real sadhu. And anyone heard this name before? Prabhakar Mishra? Anyone knows who was this person is actually? His details are written here as such. He was a 25-year-old, and then the principal and the medical officer, and he was so impressed. So yeah, of course, that is another one. I think whether the same or not, I have to confirm. Okay. Prabhupada's first disciple, yes, correct. Whether it's the same or not, I have to confirm. That is Acharya Prabhakar. Prabhupada gives him a name. Whether this one only is Mishra or some other. Yeah, that's what I remembered. So you see, Prabhupada's speech has spoken about Prabhupada's personality. Yeah. So that's why Prabhupada writes very amazing statement. A fool is undetected until he, anyone knows that statement? A fool is undetected until he dash. In Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada right. Yeah, until he speaks. Okay, because our words, our talk will make us, what we say, present ourselves who we are actually. So if we are using bad words, we are using all what we call making a no sense, that is nonsense speech and all, useless talks, prajalpa, that is called as prajalpa, unwanted talks. Then surely people will think ourselves like that, and we'll also attract such kind of people. But if our talks are substantial, pure, meaningful, and a God conscious way we were presenting, speaking very politely, firm and polite, right? So then people will also appreciate, and that kind of people will get attracted. So Srila Prabhupada's So once one of a senior devotee from Pune, His Grace Sundar Sham Prabhu, if you have heard about any of you, he's very, very senior, very early devotee in Pune. So when college preaching started, he was the very first. So now he's a very senior brahmachari there in Pune ashram. So he had came to Hyderabad because we all originally from Pune, now we are in Hyderabad. So we had invited Prabhuji. So we were giving an introduction of Prabhuji to the people because Hyderabad people were new. For them, Prabhuji was new. So then Prabhuji said, no need to introduction. My sadhu speech will make people understand who the sadhu is, or who the person is. Right? So our talk matters a lot. So you see, Prabhupada presented so amazingly this principal, this head medical officer, right? He's such a top leader, top person in the society there. He got impressed. So can someone say any other example quickly? Who got impressed by the speech of another person? Yeah, quickly, you can unmute and say. Here,
Prabhupada got impressed.
Where?
In speech of Vrindavan.
Speech of Vrindavan?
He's a spiritual master speech in Vrindavan.
Not in Vrindavan. It was in Ulta Danga Junction in Calcutta. In the first meeting, when Abhay met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. You are a young educated man. Why don't you spread the message of Lord Chaitanya in English language in a Western world? Right? And then Srila Prabhupada presented argument, but the way Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur presented back, Abhay felt, here is a sadhu who is carrying the mission, the message of Lord Chaitanya is in the right hand. And Prabhupada also considered him heart to heart as his guru only, right? So this is very, very amazing to understand. So that's what we have to keep ourselves very proper. And what kind of input we take, like that our words will become. So it's very, very much important to understand what input we are taking, from whom we are hearing, which books we are reading, which kind of friends we are associating, right? Many, many things matters. What kind of movies, songs, yeah, the Gigo principle, correct, right? So that's what the whole point is. So all glories to Srila Prabhupada, who received Krishna consciousness so purely from his spiritual master, right? So ardently Srila Prabhupada used to hear whatever, every word, what Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur used to say. Although Abhay, that time he used to say, I don't used to understand his English. He was so heavily loaded. But still I used to pay attention because I felt he is speaking very much properly. And that's what, because Abhay paid very great attention, very eagerly heard and took the message. Whatever Abhay wrote, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said, just print it. And that's what Srila Prabhupada's writing is now creating such a great revolution all across the world. So that's what it is. For our own good interest, we took the habit of reading Srila Prabhupada's books regularly. That's our tomorrow's session, Srila Prabhupada book reading. But in general also we should have a regular practice. Hearing Srila Prabhupada's lectures, audio lectures are so amazing. So then what happened? Their Vani will become our words also. Right? There, whatever we hear, actually we'll remember the same way, we'll also able to present as it is. Right? That's why Prabhupada gave the name Bhagavad Gita, as it is. So I hope you're understanding what I'm saying, right? So Abhay's presentation impressed that Prabhakar Mishra. Short and stocky Dr. Shastri. Oh, sorry, that was Mishra is different now. Dr. Shastri, just beginning his career in Ayurvedic medicine, was an active young man, fascinated by Abhay's purity. Right? All of you know those 4 principles of our ISKCON. Purity is dash. What is that? In that one comes. Purity is dash. Yeah. Purity is force. Yeah, correct. So Srila Prabhupada's purity got impressed upon the people so much. And his vision of a world movement for distributing India's culture. Older men like Tall saw Ramacharan Hayaharan Mitra, a utensil shopkeeper who wrote poetry and wore a white Nehru cap, also wanted to learn more about Lord Chaitanya from Abhay. Dr. Mullik, who was the Gita Mandir secretary, and Dr. Siddhi from the university, along with their wives, had sincerely approached Abhay after his talk and asked him, please to visit Jhansi again. So one way, of course, yes, people really appreciated, because they never heard like anyone speaking as Abhay presented, purely the message of Lord Chaitanya, right? But unfortunately, Indians failed to follow Srila Prabhupada. Appreciated, but application was not there. So let's see how further goes. Abhay had come to them not as a pharmaceutical salesman or as a man with a family concerns, but purely as a devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although the specific applications of Krishna consciousness as given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati were new to his audience, these teachings had interested them. And the more Abhay had expressed these teachings and spoken of his ambitions for spreading Krishna's message, the more his hearers had encouraged him. Right? So silence and violence. You remember we studied that in one session. So because Abhay presented so boldly, although the teachings were very heavy and all, but he presented his ambitions and his desires and the mission of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, what he wanted to carry out, right? That attracted many hearers, encouraged them also. Several of them had suggested he conduct his mission in Jhansi, and they had promised to help him. Dr. Shastri had even invited Abhay to come and live with him. He would introduce Abhay to important citizens and arrange for lectures in various meeting places of Jhansi. So this remarks a very much important beginning of this chapter, Jhansi, the League of Devotees. How Abhay started all alone, the League of Devotees. And surprisingly, you see the interest is so great, but then Abhay has to write in a newspaper that article, wanted, suitable candidate, please apply. How this happened, how these things went from there to there further, that's the talk our future reading will continue. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So mainly the two lessons we emphasized. Quickly, can someone recall what two lessons we learn in today's reading of Līlāmṛta? Two lessons importantly we discussed. Anyone noted?
Responsible people do not blame surroundings and circumstances. Whatever the circumstances are, they do best in them.
Yeah, very good, very good. Not to blame the situations or circumstances around, but whatever we have in our hand, try to utilize in a best way. Utility is the principle. That's another motto of our ISKCON. One of the principles of ISKCON. Purity is the force we saw, and utility is the principle. Not to blame the circumstances. Srila Prabhupada was going in a third-class railway compartment, no place proper practically, meager facilities, but Srila Prabhupada was kept on working on his mission. Yeah, thank you. Anyone else can say other lesson what we learned? Joshipur is writing. The speak defines a person. Yeah.
Sorry, this speech.
Speech. Speak. I understood. Yeah. Speech defines a person. What kind of speech we have, that is our personalities. So let us keep this point in mind and appreciate Srila Prabhupada for presenting so amazingly for all of us. Okay, thank you all very much for joining and giving your kind association. Let us end with the Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnava vrinda ki jai. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.